The Kansas City Chiefs coming off their bye week and getting the Tennessee Titans, the 5-2 Tennessee Titans, on Sunday Night Football at Arrowhead Stadium here in Week 9. The Chiefs, of course, also 5-2. This is a very important game. Whoever wins this game is going to be a game up on the other and hold a tiebreaker. Look, Tennessee, think about the Titans, whatever you will, 5-2, running away with the AFC South. I don't think there's any question at this point the Titans will once again win that division. They will host a playoff game. And listen, the Titans, they find ways to win games. Last year, the number one seed in the conference. In 2019, in the AFC title game against the Chiefs after beating Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. So while they're not the most impressive team on paper, the Titans find ways. They're very well coached under Mike Vrabel. So let's get into Tennessee a little bit. Tennessee was able, with a backup quarterback in Malik Willis, a rookie out of Liberty University, to win in Week 8, 17-10 over the one-win Houston Texans. Now, Willis was terrible in the game. Threw a pick, only threw for 55 yards. His QBR was under 5, which is impossible. QBR goes from 1 to 100. If you have a hideous game, you're in the 20s and 30s. At under 5, yikes. I would not expect Willis to start again in Kansas City. He was only starting this weekend because Ryan Tannehill was out with an illness. So, how did the Titans win a game like that? Well, they played well defensively. And then, oh yeah, by the way, Derrick Henry, he's still pretty good. That's just in. Derrick Henry this year is averaging 4.5 yards per carry. He has 7 touchdowns. And after a slow start on the year, 755 rushing yards. That'll play. He's doing just fine. The offense really is Henry and nobody else. A.J. Brown, of course, traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in the offseason. Ryan Tannehill, when he's played in the 6 games he started, he's just been okay. 6 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's been sacked 14 times, only averaging 183 passing yards per game. So this is not a team that throws the ball around much, ranking very much toward the bottom in yards per play on an offensive basis. It has not been an impressive showing. Look, if you look at the Titans statistics, they have one player that has over 150 receiving yards this year. That is Robert Woods. He's at 256. And if you're looking for context for that, okay, if you look over on the other side of this game, you look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs have Travis Kelce at 553 yards. Juju, 494. MVS, 369. McCole Hardman has 218. McCole Hardman would almost be the best receiver on the Titans. That's where you're sitting. And by the way, Hardman's been targeted 25 times this year, and he's got 218 yards. Robert Woods has been targeted 34 times for 256. So on a per-target basis, Hardman actually would be better than Robert Woods this season. And Woods only has 1 touchdown. Dontrell Hilliard, the reserve running back, he actually does have 144 receiving yards and 3 scores. But this is a team that has to win a very specific way. The Titans need to run the ball. They need to stay ahead of the sticks. They need to let Tannehill throw a play-action pass here and there and allow themselves to win in close, low-scoring games. You're not going to see many games here where the Titans go nuts. In fact, their point totals this year, 27, 24, 24, 21, 19, and 17. So they have not scored more than 24 points in any game this year. Their wins have come in the last 5 games, by the way, on a 5-game winning streak after losing to the Giants and Bills to start the year. They've beaten the Raiders, the Colts, the Commanders, the Colts again, and the Texans. Obviously, the Chiefs represent a massive step up in class. The only time they played a team as good as the Chiefs was Buffalo, and that was 41-7 on Monday Night Football all the way back in Week 2. So, what are you looking for in this game? Well, I think if you're a Chiefs fan, you're looking to absolutely, unequivocally limit Derrick Henry no matter how you have to do it. Now, the Titans are not going to be dumb in this game. They're well coached. This is going to be a game you would expect that the Titans are going to say, hey, listen, the Chiefs have struggled against heavy personnel, couldn't stop the Raiders, couldn't stop the Bills from running at times, could not stop the 49ers when they went heavy. Going to go heavy. Going to see a lot of tight ends, going to see a fullback. And I think if you're the Titans, that's the hope in this game. Now, if you're the Chiefs, you also know, unlike the Raiders and unlike the Bills and unlike the 49ers, this is a game where the only way you're losing is the Titans running the ball. Those other 3 teams, they can all throw it. They can all spin it. They've all got weapons on the outside. The Titans don't have that. The Titans are nowhere near any of those 3 teams in terms of their ability to run the ball. So I would expect that Kansas City stacks the box aggressively and says, look, if we can make this at all about Ryan Tannehill and this passing offense, it's a wrap. The Chiefs secondary is much more talented than the Titans receivers. They have done nothing this year that would scare you. In fact, if you want to talk about their leading tight end, Their leading tight end is Austin Hooper. He has 10 catches for 116 yards and no touchdowns this year. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a team that they cannot threaten you in the air. And so if you're the Chiefs, you want to get up in this game. You want to get up by a couple scores. You do that, it's sayonara. The Titans are not going to be able to come back in this game. And so when you look at the defensive side of the ball for Tennessee, what do you look at? Well, they've got a trio of guys in the front seven who are worth talking about. Jeffrey Simmons is a great defensive tackle, 5.5 sacks on the year. Behind Jones and Donald, argument for the best D tackle in the sport. Denico Autry, you can move him inside and outside. He has 5 sacks this year. And Rashad Weaver, at linebacker, he has 4. And Weaver's a guy you maybe haven't heard much about yet. He's a good player. The question with Weaver, simply put, is going to be, and look, what kind of health are you getting from him? He had, to start the year, he had 4 sacks in the first 3 games he played. He missed the Buffalo game, had 2 against the Giants, had 1 against the Raiders, had 1 against the Colts. But he was not able to play against the Houston Texans. You wonder in this game, how healthy is he? Because if he's healthy, he's a very good, dynamic young player. And the Titans are going to need all the pass rush they can get in this game. If they don't have him, they've got real problems. After missing the Texans game with a back injury, we will see if Weaver can play. All right, couple more things to watch in this game. Tennessee, as bad as they are offensively, at times great in the red zone. The Chiefs' defense has not been particularly good in the red zone over the course of the season, but much better against the Bills and much better against the 49ers. That is something to watch. If the Chiefs are good in the red zone and they win those battles, they should be just fine. Another thing to watch in this game, the secondary of Tennessee, not ideal. The Titans are not a great secondary. Kevin Byard, an excellent safety. The rest of the secondary is susceptible. I would expect the Chiefs, if they can block up front, to have a lot of success. Now, the Titans don't have a great edge rush. Bud Dupree, he is their best edge rusher. Harold Landry would be, but he's out for the year with a torn ACL, suffered right before the season began. And so if you're Kansas City, you should be able to handle that edge rush. You're more worried about Simmons and Autry getting some push toward the middle of the line. If that happens, that's an issue. Of course, the Chiefs match up well there with Joe Thuney and Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. So if Mahomes has time, I think the Chiefs are able to throw the ball all over the lot. If that happens and the Chiefs can get up again, this becomes a very hard game. Tennessee has to win this game in a very specific way. They've got to be able to win the battle of running the ball, staying ahead of the sticks, keeping the game very close throughout. If the Titans cannot do that, if the Titans get into a game here where Mahomes is going nuts and all of a sudden Tannehill's got to start throwing the ball more than maybe 20 to 25 times in this game, it's going to be a really, really tough task for Tennessee. Despite both these teams being at 5-2 on the year, Kansas City, depending on the book you're looking at, is laying 10.5 or 11 points. That tells you what the odds makers think of the Titans. And yes, look, I think the Titans have beaten some bad teams this year, fair enough. Although they did beat the Colts twice, who the Chiefs couldn't beat. Give them credit there. I think you do have to say this. Tennessee has won a lot of games over the last handful of years with Mike Vrabel at head coach. And if the Chiefs give an opening to the Titans, this could be a very ugly, weird, frustrating game at Arrowhead. Maybe the Chiefs even win it ugly, but it could get ugly. If the Chiefs, however, execute and they're sharp out of the bye and they have a good game plan, this could also be the kind of game where the Chiefs run away and hide early and Tennessee really has no chance to fight back. I think Kansas City, clearly the better team, clearly the much better offense, but this is the kind of game you have one assignment and you must execute it. Slow down Derrick Henry and force the Titans to throw the ball. That happens, and the Chiefs have a really good chance of being 6-2 before they host the Jacksonville Jaguars the following Sunday.